just go. Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
And I'm Gary. Dave was about to say Terabyte Day.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about our favorite allies, and the most of our viewers that are not from the United States are from Canada
and Australia. Two countries that get it.
They had elections this week. The left parties won the elections. In Canada, certainly up until the last couple months, it sure looked like there was going to be a big swing to the right.
Yep.
And the combination of Justin Trudeau stepping down and Donald Trump being the Trumpiest Trump who ever trumped, and his tariffs managed to not only unite a country, but unite him in such a way that, like, yeah, we don't want any of that crazy here. We're good, thanks.
Yeah. Well, even in Australia, Albanese, I think it's
Albanese. It should be Albanese, right? That's Italian.
Albanese was he was down in the polls at the beginning of the year. It's what I was reading, and it's just that all Trump being the Trumpiest Trump whoever Trump to Trump, all the antics of what's going on in the United States, the folks in Australia are like, yeah, no, we don't want that.
Yeah, just said that.
I mean, that's what happens. These guys all align themselves with Trump and the far right agenda, and it seems like the world is looking at this going, not what we want.
France had to unite their left parties just to stop the far right from taking over. Mm-hmm. Germany's conservative parties and even their far right nationalistic parties had significant gains in Germany. But I also think that because those elections were like in February, earlier in the year, they hadn't gotten to the point where it's like, oh Lord. I mean, literally when Trump started threatening tariffs and causing turmoil and then instituting tariffs in the beginning of April and alienating all our traditional allies, I think the conservatives would have done well. But the minute he did that, the great divider, because all Trump does is divide. Anything he's directing at, he has to divide so he can conquer. But he's, as unexpected consequences, he's uniting others.
Yeah.
He's uniting Canada. It's to the point where even Quebecans are proud to be Canadians. That's like saying, and Dr. Lena mentioned that Northern Australia is like the United States Texas. And, you know, when Texas is on board with the other 49 states,
yeah,
you got something going on there that usually happens during the Olympics. You know? So while Trump divides, all around it, groups are uniting.
Yep. Yeah, it's encouraging for us in the United States to see this, because we have to live this nonsense every single day. It's just fatiguing and draining. And the thing is, with most of MAGA, they're still rabid and foaming at the mouth. You know, we're chipping away at the edges, but it's encouraging when you're seeing other countries where it was looking like the Conservative Party was gaining ground and going to take over, and both those countries stood up and said, no, we don't want this. It gives us hope, because Lord knows that we need it over here.
Okay, so what do you want to read on with this?
Well, that was kind of where I was going with the reading is, you know, now that we've seen Canada and Australia and what we're seeing in Europe, is the tide against conservatism turning in the United States, and will we see benefits of this in the 2026 elections? Hey, it's all me. Yay!
That's right.
Hey, everyone.
Let's talk more cards.
Okay. For entertainment purposes only. How's it looking for the old conservatives? Are we starting to shift away from the far right and start moving toward a more balanced, maybe loving, empathetic country. Whoops, upside down. Okay,
no.
Oh no. So we got the high priestess. This is it's kind of that if you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. It's an enlightenment. And I think that maybe our voters or the people in the United States are starting to become a little more enlightened, and they're starting to see what this is all about. I don't think we're there. I don't think we're fully there yet. Wait till those tariffs really start biting and the Republicans pass their budget. I think that's when it's really going to land.
And just to take your reversed high priestess there, it could also mean that you can also you can see what you don't like. Not only see what you like, but you can see what you don't like.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes it's easier to know what you don't like than what you like, right? Exactly. Just the process of elimination.
I don't know what I want, but I know what I want that.
Exactly. The challenge, the crosses, the Nine of Wands, all the battles were just, it's the fatigue. The Trump fatigue is real. He calls it Trump derangement syndrome. It's just Trump fatigue. You just don't get a break. Dave and I were talking about it, and we may do a reading on it. Trump's latest thing is showing himself as an AI image as a pope. It's like, seriously, what is the point of this? Are you so in need of being in the news cycle that you'd put something crazy like that out? That's kind of my theory on it. Underneath it, a great card, 10 of Swords. Yeah, we're coming to the end of this cycle. It's just like what Canada was voted against and what Australia voted against. They looked at the crazy and said, no, we're not having that here. In the past, we had the Eight of Swords. It's just that we didn't see a path out. I mean, these first 100 or so days have just been traumatic in the United States. Trump seems to have all the momentum. The Democrats don't have a majority in the House. They don't have a majority in the Senate. So we're just bending over and taking it right now. The only thing that's stopping the whole nonsense with Trump's agenda is the courts. The courts are at least slowing it down a little bit. Current energy is the Nine of Pentacles. People starting to realize that their level of living, their standard of living, it's being impacted by Trump and his antics with all these tariffs. Those 30 dolls, you can only get 2. I mean, it's a very flippant comment on Trump's point. Because, let's talk about medication. Let's talk about food. Let's talk about durable goods, stuff that's not manufactured here, which a lot of stuff isn't. You're going to lower the standard of living of a lot of Americans because you don't like the fact that corporate executives over the last 30 years have been outsourcing jobs. I guess if you want to lower the minimum wage to $4 an hour, we can bring all those manufacturing jobs back and have that standard of living, except that you won't have any money to buy the stuff. Overarching energy is the Hermit. I suspect that this is people starting to do a little introspection as to what they really value. Trump is great about kind of one issue voters. Find that one issue that people are passionate about and then support it. And he's got this weird alliance of people. People that don't want to pay taxes, people that want religion in schools, people that are anti-abortion, people that want to call it the Gulf of America. They're just this nationalistic group of people. He's got this weird coalition going on. But I think as we're starting to see more Trump, there's more introspection and trying to find a different path forward. It could also be looking at the crazy and seeing how Trump is just sort of losing his mind. He's not quite there yet. Lesson to be learned is the Fool. Fuck around and find out. I think that's about all I'm going to say about that card. And the outcome is the Five of Cups. Not happy with what's going on. hoping this will be coming to an end because it's impacting our lifestyle. What I'm reading is that, this is coming to an end. We are turning the corner here.
Sure,
it's a long corner.
Yeah, but the question really is, how long is the path going to be? Because it's I think I shared this on a previous video, but had a mild epiphany last weekend.
There's a cream for that they sell at Walgreens.
Yeah, Trump isn't the lesson for me, you, and the viewers on this channel. Generally speaking, Trump is the lesson for his followers, for MAGA, because they are the ones who will suffer the most under his leadership. Mm-hmm. If you want to call it the loosest term of leadership.
Yeah, it's an interesting definition of leadership.
Pretty much every leadership class I've been to, Trump would be this is what you don't want to do as a leader.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding when I say that. And that's not hating or anything like that. He literally embodies everything that a leader should not do.
Right.
He never takes accountability. He promotes himself while blaming others. He's not strategic. There's no playing the tape all the way through to figure out the consequences of one's actions. There's no planning. He's impulsive.
Yeah. He doesn't listen.
He has all the planning of a 3-year-old with a dirty diaper in the candy aisle in a grocery store.
Why does the diaper have to be dirty? Oh, got it. Okay. Sorry. So what's the lesson for the Democrats?
Yeah.
Just let the dirty.
What's the theme of this one? What should I be reading on here? I might be going the wrong direction. What do you want to know more about?
Well, for me, it was just, are we turning the corner? Yes.
Right.
So it's, where do you want to go from there? You were saying the path is long and slow.
Yeah. So, I was going to start going where's MAGA with this, but I don't know if that's in the theme of where we want to go.
No, that's fine. I think that's part of it.
Okay. Where's where's MAGA at these days? He came in, he was going to stop the war in Ukraine. He was going to fix egg prices on day one. He's going to lower food prices on day one. Gas is going to be under $2 a gallon. Again, the overpromise, underdeliver aspect of this.
Exactly what you shouldn't be doing if you're a salesman.
Right. And now we've got the tariffs, and he's trying to set expectations that we're about to go through a tough economic time, but buck up, your kids don't need things because they're just spoiled rotten.
Yep.
But my billionaires need tax cuts. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. Big money push, big value push. The hedge is, you need to learn your lesson, because if you don't, the hedge means you get to repeat it. So we're kind of stuck in a loop here. And it's a money loop. And now maybe this time a big economic collapse may be in order to for MAGA. Interesting. It was a big health issue that got Trump out the first time. Now we might get an economic issue and impacting the world. So I do think looking at a worldwide recession with justice underneath it. Where's MAGA with this? They're not there yet. They're not there yet. It's coming, but they're not at the end of the cycle. It's like they have to go through this money cycle again before they start understanding that things aren't being fair to them. In the past, the death card, this is wild. Not only do I have 3 major arcana, but they had the opportunity to walk away from Trump. The GOP had the opportunity to walk away from Trump, and they chose not to do it. Notice the king's dead, but here's the Pope, and now Trump's got a picture of himself as the Pope. Quick, I can't die. I got to be the Pope in this card. They had an opportunity to walk away from Trump. They chose not to. I guess
to me that's
they
poetic justice.
their case hadn't been heard. They hadn't presented enough evidence as to why they're suffering. Current situation is 4Coins. They're now holding on for dear life. I think there's some real anxiety amongst MAGA with finances coming up. They're being told that the tariffs are going to be the end all be all of all things wonderful, but like they say with recessions, you're in a recession before they officially announce it, simply because recessions are defined as 2 consecutive quarters of less than 0% GDP growth.
Yeah, GDP, contraction, really.
Yeah, and it's just the working definition of a recession. So you can be in a recession for 6 months before it's officially designated a recession. And it could be up to 9 months because that second quarter, they could keep adjusting the GDP down till it's negative. It might start off at 1%, then readjust it to 0.2%. Then, well, actually, it was no -3%. Oh, boy, did we miss. But, you could be 6 to 9 months into an economy before it's officially called a recession. But that doesn't mean you don't feel it on Main Street.
Yeah, totally.
So holding on, I think they're also holding on that Trump's promised them things, and they want those things. But there's this vibe of at some point they have to accept the promises aren't being delivered.
Not the way they wanted them to.
Exactly. At some point, you don't have the money. He promised you things he didn't deliver. At some point, that is going to happen. And then they walk away. The minute Trump screws these guys over so financially to the point where they can't deny it anymore, they walk. And then they're going to want somebody to make the changes to make their lives better again. And it's coming right back to what I was saying. They have to suffer. And this time they have to suffer financially. Also, interestingly, with coins being health cards, we also have measles outbreaks in Texas and other states with RFK and not wanting vaccines and such. So their health is going to go down, their wealth is going to go down, and at some point, that simple country wisdom of, we screwed ourselves. We should do something about that.
Yeah, that Four of Pentacles is, to me, it's like
do something. Somebody should do something about this. Even the police.
Stood up and took notice. To me, that Four of Pentacles they're just holding on to their belief that Trump isn't lying to them.
Exactly. They can't picture a world where they've been lied to for the last 8 years. It's just it's world shattering. They live in a different universe, and they're desperately trying to hold on to that universe as it converges back. The two universes start to converge back to one. Why don't you read on the media and the role that they may play in this?
All right.
Because you could say Trump's economy is all great and everything like that, but if all the stock markets are down and all prices are up, you can't spin the numbers. After a point, you just can't say, "Oh, it's the greatest economy ever." The stock market's down, 50% in a week.
So the role of the media
especially right-wing media, because let's be real, that's what's perpetuating Earth.
Clearly, because that's what MAGA has. They have Trump's word and then Fox News
and Newsmax
validating it.
Yeah, exactly.
So specifically for the media, are they going to come around? Are they coming or turning the corner? Or
you could say, and I would focus it. Are we talking corporate media, legacy media? Or are we talking right-wing media? Because to me, it's right-wing media that's the problem.
Right-wing media, that's the issue.
Although certainly during the election, it sure seemed like legacy media / corporate media was really giving Trump a pass, and they are hammering on Biden because they
Oh
wanted
yeah, look,
this.
no doubt. Everyone in the comments is going to be commenting on that.
Yeah.
So
We haven't forgotten.
So for right-wing media, are they starting to realize that they're backing a losing horse?
Mm.
Oops, once again, upside down. Okay. Foundation of the reading is Two of Cups. Yeah, they've got this nice relationship. Trump makes headlines. Trump earns them money.
Yep.
Let's not be naive and foolish. This is about money.
Fear sells.
The challenge is the Six of Cups. Just living in the past, or seeing how Trump wants to take us to the past. This is definitely not a progressive agenda. And the news is once again supporting it. Okay. Underneath it, we've got the Six of Swords. This is moving out of troubled waters and moving to calmer shores. So they could see what this card may mean is that Fox News, right-wing media, is starting to see how Trump's rhetoric is starting to boomerang. And they may start shading a little bit more to the left, if you will, not leaning into the rhetoric on the right. In the past, you've got the High Priestess. Where do I go with that? It's just because the High Priestess, it's all about ask the right question, get the right answer. But it's one of those things where they were only asking questions that they wanted answers to, that they knew that the answers they were going to get supported their agenda and supported Trump's agenda. They weren't being honest about this. The current energy is the Ten of Pentacles. This is honoring Trump's legacy. It's also all the money that Trump brings in advertising dollars to these agencies. Are they getting it though? Overarching is the Chariot. Things moving forward. It just depends. If they're seeing that the crazy and they're starting to shade away from the more out there rhetoric, maybe they're slowly starting to move forward or starting to move away from that.
This is gonna be an interesting one right here.
Yeah. Lesson to be learned is the emperor. Presidents or kings. Supporting Trump is what you do to earn your money. Outcome, the sun. Interesting. So the outcome is the sun. It's
do not put your cards away after you're done.
So the challenge is the Six of Cups is seeing the crazy and how Trump's mind is so retro. And one of the things with the High Priestess is you've got the moon, so they're willing to. There's confusion, there's mysteries, there's things being held secret, but it's starting to, whatever secrets are out there are going to come out for all to see. I have a hunch Dave's been champing at the bit to get on this one, so go ahead.
You think? Go ahead and move your bottom card off to the side there. All right. So what I'm seeing here is you are giving us a 30,000 foot view of media throughout its time in our world. It's something that we've always trusted with the Two of Cups, but there's almost a naivety, a childlike thing that they would always take care of us.
Always tell us the truth.
Always tell us the truth, and that's a bit of a naive thing. Underneath it all is people are leaving that legacy media.
Oh, that's true.
Why? In the past, they told us what they felt we needed to know. With High Priestess, they told us what we needed to know, and that got abused. Why did it get abused? Because big money came raining in, advertising dollars and such, and all of a sudden that is now changing the message. Where the message maybe was truth, it now became opinion, and now you put the cart before the horse, as it were, and instead of news driving the media is driving the news. The reporters and the media are now creating the news as opposed to reporting on the news. The lesson to be learned is too much power was afforded those who controlled the information space. And the outcome is the Sun card. At some point, the truth is going to get out there. Despite the narrative the media is putting out, the truth is going to come out. It's coming from it's going to come from different sources, though.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
and that flowed very nicely.
Yes. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with his spread on that. Really, in the end of the day, what's going to stop right-wing media? Advertising dollars. It's just going to be advertising dollars. It's going to be advertisers pulling out of that and no longer supporting it. That's it. The emperor could be the advertisers themselves. At some point, if you're going to pay for the news, the American oligarchs are going to want things reported the way they want to report it. I don't know how you get out of this I have a spiral here.
It's if Rupert Murdoch finally goes up the Rainbow Bridge, or slides down the dark slide.
Yeah, but it's pervasive now. It's all money driven. How do you get the money out of the news? You know what I mean? And so maybe the way you do that is you have a bunch of smaller news places. I mean, Midas Touch, for instance, may not be corrupted by money. It could happen in the future. How do you prevent that from happening?
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's a problem that's coming down the pike. For that, it's a problem we're dealing with now, but I don't know what the solution is coming out. What's the solution? Little Four Carter. Let's figure out. No, give us a hint as to what the solution might look like. You got to get rid of the wealthy people. Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords. Wow. Yeah, you have to bring down the oligarchy.
Yeah.
You gotta just take it down and start over. People have to be passionate. They want a crusade. They want their truth. They want a new way of doing things in a transition type period. So it's just it's almost like you need a changing of the guard of who's in charge.
Yeah.
You can't have Rupert Murdoch. You can't have Lachlan Murdoch in there. They're corrupted. So you need to find people who aren't corrupted. I don't know what that looks like, but there you have it. Okay, let's wrap this up. This has gone too long. Thank you, everyone, for watching and supporting our channel. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. I read them all, respond to many. And we, unlike the other bargain basement, inferior brand of Twin Tarots, we give shout outs. And I've got 2 shout outs. The first is to Wolf Rebel, who is a scientific liberal, and a fraternal twin, whose fraternal twin is a staunch Reagan Republican. So Wolf Rebel would like a card.
The first card I pulled up was the 3 of Swords, and we're going to follow it with the 9 of Wands.
It's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Sorry.
I know it's hard when you've got one twin that's a Democrat and the other's a Republican. How do they ever get along?
Yeah, and this is the card for the next person he's calling out.
No, that would be Danelle, because with a name like Danelle, they're not going to get called out on Romper Room. And I said, you're right. And then just a quick hi, hello, and shout out to Rebecca Oz, also known as Sunflower Down Under.
Okay.
Yay. And a card for the rest of us. Upside down yet again. I gotta make sure my deck's right set up. It is the 5 of Swords. If we're gonna fight, let's fight to win on this one, folks.
Losing. All right, now take care. We'll catch you on the next video.
Bye.